Good evening, friends. Welcome to the Bill Crane Report with Duane Weiss. By my side here, we're ready to chat with you, visit with you, and
Trying to stay warm.
and tried 6 degrees last night. Woof. 'Twas nippy out there. The cat wouldn't go out.
I don't blame him. He's a stupid cat, you know.
So, exactly. Well, look, first of all, folks, I'd like to comment on the police and fire proposal, $14 million for same. And I've always been very wary of buying a pig in a poke. That's an old saying from many years ago in England. On market day, they used to bring their goods to market.
Yep.
And woe be the fellow that bought a piglet in a sack that was tied, brought it home.
Didn't know what he had.
And hopefully got a nice, chubby, healthy little piglet, and instead he got a scrawny, sickly piglet. So I think it's very, very important we open the sack and see what we're getting. Unfortunately, with this proposal, that's not the case. And we're being asked to fund a $14 million cure-all for the housing for the police and fire departments. It's woefully short on details. And this was dropped on us in a most surprising fashion. The fall town meeting is reserved for catch-up items, a zoning change, a street acceptance,
Housekeeping.
Yeah, housekeeping, a transfer from funds from one line item to the other. And it is not to be used for capital expenditures. And this was told to me by one of our town fathers. Absolutely not. The capital items go on the annual budget, on the annual warrant,
Yep.
I'm sorry. Well, guess what? We have this $14 million bomb dropped on us. The information handed out at town meeting was scanty at best and almost impossible to read at worst. This is no way to run a railroad, and it's no way to run a town government. One of the truly brilliant points established by our founding fathers nearly 12 score ago was the necessity of the strength and guiding hand of an educated and informed electorate. We hear the words clear and transparent in describing how our government, how we'd like to see our government operate. This is not the case here because it's being dropped in our laps at the 11th hour, bereft of plans, drawing timetables, costs. This is not the type of plan I can embrace.
No.
Now, a dog and pony show will be held in the library this week, and to my way of thinking, that's too little too late.
Yeah.
For a plan to succeed, the electorate must be informed. Well-publicized meetings held, and citizen input encouraged, gathered, and considered. Then, when it is considered ready to go forward, a meaningful documentation package should go to every family or voter in town and to the advisory board.
And where is that $14 million coming from?
Well, it's a bond issue,
Yeah,
you know.
we know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
But what is it going to buy us? That's
exactly right. Yeah.
We don't know that.
No, we don't.
Well, they're looking at an empty building. They don't know what they're going to do with it. They're going to lay it in gold leaf on the inside or something. The pearl driveways. We don't know.
That's a problem, you know. And how are they going to fix the fire station? What kind of funds are going to be left over from doing the
Yeah.
police work to do the fire? They're going to come back to us for more money. The advisory board does due diligence, examines the finances, and makes a sound and honest recommendation. Then it goes to the town meeting. This, is the way it should be done. Simply stated, number 1, define the need. Number 2, explore possibilities. Number 3, look at multiple approaches. Number 4, explain to the electorate in detail where you are and what you seek. Explain to the electorate in detail where you are and seek their advice and consent.
Yep.
Choose the best ideas, consolidate them in a single, well thought out approach. Go forward to the voters, or if there's opposition and a serious retool is required, find a compromise. Something that everyone can support,
that's right.
and then put it on the ballot. And we haven't done that.
No. You know what worries me here?
Yeah.
We have a B&B attitude, and I don't mean bed and breakfast. Norfolk has to be bigger and better than the surrounding towns. We have this idea that we have to have something better than everybody else.
Our average town bill,
Yep.
tax bill, residential tax bill in this town, the last time I looked, in the Sun Chronicle reading area,
Yep, I know, I saw it.
we were over 30%
Higher.
higher than the next guy, which was Rentham.
Yeah. And what do we got to show for it?
Yeah.
We got the municipal building. We got the Taj Mahal schools, the prison and the Taj Mahal. But we don't have any town garbage. Every you want your trash picked up, you got to hire a private contractor.
We've been handed this proposal, and it's buy it and shut up.
Yep.
That's the attitude, And God, is there anybody in town hall that understands the precepts of sales and marketing?
No.
And how to sell something to somebody? And while I'm wondering about that, does anybody remember terms like a stabilization fund, a reserve fund, or a rainy day fund? Used to be, now I'm going back years.
Oh, yeah.
But we had those kinds of funds.
Yes, we did.
And we paid cash for a fire truck.
That's right. We leveled our expenses out that way.
Now we're like a family that is trying to balance their weekly budget with credit cards.
Right.
Interest, if I understand spreading the principal out is easier, but we're paying interest on that money every single year for 20 years, 30 years. Jeepers creepers. And who does this hurt, Hurts the elderly.
Sure.
The people that maybe have a little less affluent, that are hanging on by their fingernails, that didn't do well in the 2008, 2009 recession.
Yeah,
They
a lot of us
downsized,
in that.
lost the job.
Well, I opened my tax bill this past week.
Surprise?
It's 3 words. What the hell?
$14 million piled onto it next year isn't going to help matters either.
Well, that's going to be a disaster. The first thing my wife said, maybe we should look to sell and get out of this town.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
that's the attitude it's going to be.
And and I want to make one thing very, very clear. Okay, I got deep roots in this town. I'm a townie. My family settled here in 1900. I have deep roots to the fire department, to the police department. I support the policemen, the firemen, all the police employees, all the fire employees. I think they do a great job. But I cannot support something I don't understand.
Yep.
That is poorly presented and thrown together in a hodgepodge.
Yep.
I mean, take a look at the stuff they handed out at town meeting. You can't even read it. I mean, this diagram here you can't read what these rooms are, or
Yeah, what are all the rooms?
Yeah.
Nobody knows what they are.
it's. You get an F for presentation. One other thing I'd like to mention too, folks. I'm going to vote against it, but I think it's important that everybody votes,
Yep.
whether you're for it or against it. Stand up and be heard. The absentee ballots are in at the town clerk's office.
Yep.
You can go up, request an absentee ballot. She hands it to you. You mark it. You give it back to her, and she puts it in the hopper.
You're done.
And you're done. You don't have to worry about whether it's going to snow or be icy on
That's right.
January 19th when it comes time to vote. I'd encourage everybody to go up if you feel that you need an absentee ballot, or if you have some qualms about driving, or if you're going to be out of town. And do it. Make your voice heard, one way or t'other.
We're going to vote against it too, unless somebody can come up and logically show where we're getting $14 million worth of value out of this thing.
You know, it's the old. Well, you know, look, I don't. Well, look, I mean, I'm lost for words here for a second.
Yeah, that's unusual.
Yeah, it just hasn't been presented properly.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And no dog and pony show at the library later on this week or next week or whenever the devil it is going to make up for this. And it's going to be in front of a handful of people.
Sure it will.
And how about the other 2,000 voters in town, you know? I don't know. Again, in its present format, I cannot vote for it.
Nor can I.
And yeah, we got our tax bills too.
What? A little shocked, were you?
I wasn't walking around the house whistling, I'll tell you.
Oh, I didn't. With an inflation rate of almost zero, I don't know where the money went.
Well, and not only that, but how about we old folk who are living on Social Security and a pension or something?
Got zero increase
Yeah, zero.
because the federal government said there was no inflation. No more cost of living. The cost of living was flat. So,
Well, gee whiz,
Gee.
how come the taxes went up the way they did?
I don't know.
Gee, isn't that a cost of living?
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, years ago, and I don't remember what his name was. We had for a short time hired a financial advisor. He was a PhD or something. His conclusion was that Norfolk doesn't have. It's not that Norfolk doesn't have enough money. They just waste the money that they have.
You know, it's we could spend this entire hour
Oh yeah.
on that subject, and
We get nowhere with it.
and get nowhere
Yeah.
with it. Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see what the town decides to do on this. And boy, I'll tell you, if we get saddled with this,
Yeah,
on
I'm
top of everything
always
else.
leery of an override here because people pass overrides without thinking,
Well, yeah.
and they just we
But
need to
then,
pass
the,
it,
but
pass
then
it,
there
pass it.
are conservative mindsets that say, "I'm not going to vote for an override.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think that something like that is right." We
Right.
passed 2.5, and we saddled it with this override to make it difficult
Yep.
to raise taxes. Boy, this town isn't finding any difficulties raising taxes.
You got to watch every day. Of course, you don't get a Globe anymore.
No, you can't get the stupid thing.
I got Sundays,
Oh, good.
but I hadn't got it for a week before that, and I didn't get it again today or yesterday.
Up
And
to,
you can't-
up
you
to the
can't-
senior center on Monday, they got Saturday's Globe.
Did they? And you can't call them. That's the whole thing. You
I
can't.
know, you can't get through.
You can't get through anything. To tell them, well, just call and say that we'll give you credit. You can't get through.
No, you can't. But we got a robocall, and
Which I didn't. Well, I wasn't home, so
Susie said, cancel us.
that's what we're going to do too.
Yeah, and refund our money.
Yep, we're gonna drop it, and
And if I see a charge go through on my credit card, I'm just going to dispute it with the credit card company.
That's the same thing we're going to do. I'm gonna,
They're not.
I can't deal with it anymore.
They're not delivering the product. You
Last
can't
night,
get through to
one of
them.
the news person said, "Don't think this is going to be days, folks. This may be going on for a month or two or more."
John Henry.
Yep.
He's the president of the Red Sox. You wonder sometimes some of the moves the Red Sox make?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Oh,
And you know this is not for better service because, well, no service is perfect. But we have been getting the Globe at the address here in Norfolk for 35 years since we moved here. And I can count on 5 hands where we actually didn't get a paper for one reason or other.
I know.
Usually it was a blizzard or a hurricane or something.
Yeah.
But usually once in a while we'd get missed. But if you called, they had by 10 o'clock a truck would stop and bring you one.
Yeah, I know.
And there they say, well, for better service, hell.
Better
You know
service.
what it's for? They found a cheaper, somebody was going to do it for a
Yeah.
lot less money.
Yeah, but you know the guy that has the rickshaw, it broke down.
The runner wouldn't run anymore in front of him.
You know, talking about dumb things, I have 2 more. I have 2 dumb things.
Okay, I love dumb things.
CBS News Sunday. Now, they employ editors to write the news for the talking heads. By the way, what a talentless bunch of boobs the talking heads are.
Of course they are.
All they have to do is sit there, impeccably groomed, and read the teleprompter. That's it. All right? But celebrities making $15 million, give me a break.
Yeah.
But this one on Sunday was great. I wish I had it perfect, but here's what they said. On the CBS News, they were talking about the flood damage in the Midwest.
Yeah, Missouri places.
And it's this is good. Especially affected by the bad weather is Missouri, Oklahoma, and Texas, and countless other cities.
Yep.
So Missouri, Oklahoma, and Texas are cities.
Well, I always thought they were.
There you are.
Yeah.
Geography has been changed by Scott Pelley, I think it
Yep,
was.
that's right.
And the other thing that I have is really stupid. I love this, though. My cat likes these treats that you buy.
Yeah, okay, mine did too.
Temptations.
Okay. Yeah, mine used to like them too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Temptations, okay? Up here it says tasty chicken flavor. You got that one, folks? There's another package of the same brand, Temptations, and it says free range chicken flavor.
Free range chicken flavor.
What is the difference in the flavor of a free range chicken versus a chicken?
Must have the taste of the wild in it.
God almighty. There's a marketing guy that created this that must be raking in big dollars. Talk about fooling the people. And yet, you know what? I buy both of them.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to talk to the cat into which one is better, but he just bites me when I ask him.
My cat wouldn't eat the fish or shrimp one. He wouldn't like touch it.
Oh, you didn't like it?
But the other day I picked up a bottle of hot sauce made purely out of some hot peppers and vinegar. And a bottle in great letters, fat-free food. Or now fat-free food. Never in his life had fat in it.
God. You know what else I love too is the ad for buying a car, the pricing service.
Yeah.
How do you know if I don't know if I'm getting a good deal?
That's right.
But if you say go with your credit card online for $35 or $50 and tell them the model you're looking for, they give you a range so that you know if you're at the bottom of the range, you're getting a great price. And if you're at the high end of the range, you're paying too much. And then he looks at the camera and said, this is how buying a car should
Would be, yep. It's phenomenal what goes on.
I'm telling you. Unbelievable. I have I picked this out. This is called Pole Watch. The way we were in 2015. But I do have two little things right here. Hillary Clinton originally said she set up a private server at her home in Chappaqua, New York, to handle all emails she sent during her time as Secretary of State for convenience, explaining it was easier to carry one device for my work instead of two. When she testified she carried three devices,
Yep.
including an iPad and a BlackBerry.
I think we know about her credibility by now.
I got one other thing here, too. This isn't funny, but I got to tell you, they are ramping up the attack on gun deaths again.
Did you have? Well, you probably missed most of our illustrious president's press conference, didn't you?
I did. I didn't see any.
It was just on before. I waited till the end of it. That's when I came over.
Okay.
Yep.
But he's anyway he's going to close some loopholes, which he
Yeah.
won't do. This is silly what he's proposing.
It's so much talking in circles. Nothing changes.
It's just hot air.
Yeah.
Nothing is going to be changed by that. Nothing. But some of the fanatics on TV have said, when are we going to stop this? 33,000 gun deaths this year.
Mm-hmm.
23,000 were suicides.
He mentioned, he kind of glossed over that. He did mention the suicide rate.
Under 10,000 were crime deaths.
Yep.
Okay, folks, we'll get that one straight. I've said it enough times. You should be sick of hearing me say it by now, but under 10,000
If you
were
watch
crime
his
deaths.
the rerun, they'll show it about 10 times
Yeah.
now. Listen, he makes the statement that we are the only advanced country that has these mass shootings.
That's not true.
Apparently, France is not an advanced country.
It's not an advanced company. Neither is Sweden.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
But get a load of this, folks. Deaths from heroin overdoses surged by 28% last year. Imagine if the gun deaths were up 28%, they'd be screaming their brains out. While fatal overdoses from prescription painkillers grew by 16.3%. Would you care to take an educated guess, sir, at the number of people that died last year from drug overdoses? Bear in mind that this gun deaths of 10,000 is a reason to get panicked. How many?
I have no idea. I'm going to say 30,000.
47,000
Okay. Yep.
drug overdoses. Does the president come on the TV and hold a press conference and say, I'm instructing the FBI, the Secret Service, the Girl Scouts, the Boy Scouts, everybody to go out and fight these drug peddlers that are peddling death to people? No. The people taking this stuff, they have a sickness, addiction.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
But how about the people that feed that addiction?
That's right.
They are the murderers.
Yep.
But nobody says anything about that.
No.
Well, you can't, Bill, because, our prisons are full.
Well, now we want to let a bunch more out.
Yeah. Out of Guantanamo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
17
17 more.
Yeah.
And here's the best part. He will not name who the 17 are.
Mm-hmm.
He's afraid there's going to be too much backlash because they're such diabolically nasty characters.
They released one recently.
Yep, I know the one you're going to talk about. Yep.
And he was supposedly Osama bin Laden's cook.
Yep.
He was not an operative.
Nope.
They released him, and he's in one of the Middle Eastern countries now, running the country.
Within hours,
For Al
he was already
Qaeda.
hooked up on one of these terrorist organizations.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We need to get serious, folks, about the crime of trafficking in illegal drugs. But it's not trendy. We can't do it.
No.
No. It's easier to beat up on legal gun owners. No,
But that,
if
in law enforcement, that's called picking the low-hanging fruit.
yeah. Did you see the latest National Rifle Association ad where they talked about the gun laws in Chicago?
No.
They said all we have to do is get the people in Chicago to enforce the gun laws that are on the books for illegal carrying, using in a crime, automatic prison sentences, but they won't do it.
Won't do it. No,
Nope.
We don't have an appetite for enforcing law.
No, we don't. We don't.
We don't.
No. It's these poor people. And speaking of that, let's see if I can find it here. But I'm getting out of sync here. But nonetheless, Mike Lupica's column in the Daily News talks about a third-generation policeman named Randolph Holder who was shot to death by a bad guy. The bad guy shot him in the head. There's a guy that shot him by the name of Howard. And he was free because he was diverted from the sentence that he received by going to drug rehab. So, and then in drug rehab, he just walked away.
Of course.
Yeah.
They get out in one of these halfway houses, they never see him again.
Yep. And he served 2 terms in prison in New York for drug sales before he was given a soft place to land on the drug diversionary program. And the lawyer convinced the judge that the diversion program was right, convincing them that he was a sad victim of PCP.
Mm-hmm.
And the PCP must have been really bad because he's been arrested 20 times beginning at age 13. I mean, at what point in time do we smarten up and say, in the clink, lock the door, throw the key away? I mean,
we don't.
22 times.
Yep.
Arrested, drug charges.
I don't know how you can get that big of a arrest record and somebody finally say, hey, that's it.
They never say, hey,
No.
that's it.
It used to be that 3 strikes law.
Yeah.
And then the liberals would scream and whine. He's got 2 strikes on him, and now, why, my God, he's got 2 felonies. If he gets arrested, what if he goes into a Walmart and steals a candy bar at the register? He could go to prison for life. Well, damn it, so he can. He's already got 2 major strikes against him.
Yeah.
That's not his first rodeo there.
You know, it goes back again to youth soccer. We're not going to keep
score. Yeah.
Because nobody wants to feel bad about themselves. So these guys that commit these crimes, they already feel bad enough about themselves. We need to help them rehabilitate. You know, there's some of that, okay? Some of these guys early in their life got dealt cards off the bottom of the deck, okay? They get rotten upbringings, no parents, live in a war zone. They need help, but not when they shoot cops.
No.
Not when they've been arrested 20 times.
Yeah, you can make a mistake or 2, but not multiple.
Yeah, not 20.
No.
Unbelievable. This is an interesting poll watch I have here. The way we were in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
How are we feeling as a country? And by the way, these are all documented who took the poll.
Yep. Okay.
Bloomberg Politics polled a cross-section of American people. How many people are feeling pretty dismal about the American scene and the fact that we're on the wrong track? Any guesses?
Percentage-wise? 20.
69%.
69.
Yeah. 72% believe the country isn't as great as it once was. Well, there's no question
Yeah,
about that.
that's high.
What percentage, CNN, by the way, what percentage believe the economy is doing poorly?
52.
59.
59.
With 47% saying their family is scraping by, making only enough to pay bills and obligations.
There are so many people that look like they're comfortable.
Yep.
They're living on the absolute edge. One missed paycheck.
You know, Duane, I'm not violating any confidence here, and this story is 35 years old. It's been that long since I've been on the fire department. I worked for the Walpole Police for 4 years part-time, driving ambulance. You know, when you get an ambulance call to go to somebody's house, you catch them totally unawares.
Yeah, of
There's
course.
no pretenses. You can't believe how many beautiful homes I went into without furniture.
Yeah.
They bought the house and couldn't afford the
Good
furniture.
Yep.
I mean, scraping by. Then they get hit with the tax bills and.
Sure.
I mean, one place they had a card table for their kitchen table, in a beautiful home. Unbelievable.
Sound like the apartments we used to have in college. 2 cement blocks and a board for a bookshelf. And
When I was a kid, I think I had a desk like that.
And Craig went out to UMass out in Amherst. He took all our old junk right along. Can I have that? Sure. Gotta get out of here.
Oh, yeah. What percentage of the people believe the American dream is broken and that only the wealthiest can now get ahead?
I'm going to say 72.
61%.
62.
56% believe most children in the U.S. will grow up to be worse off than their parents. That's NBC News. You know, that's pretty bleak.
Well, I saw, too, that a large percentage of young people today, just starting out, everybody used to say, well, the American dream, you own a house, you know, that little house with a picket fence and all that stuff. They're not even trying to strive for a house anymore. They don't think it's possible.
Yeah. And some of them are complaining they can't even afford the rent.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they have to have roommates and holy cow. Whom do we blame for our problems? What percentage of people, this is the Pew Research Center, what percentage of the people don't like President Obama's handling of the economy?
68.
54.
54.
Yep. And now you got to remember now, we got, 47% are going to vote Democrat, regardless of what happens.
It don't matter. Rin Tin
So,
Tin can be rep
yeah.
on the ballot.
And 59% think he's dealt poorly with foreign policy.
How many?
59%.
That's generous.
It is.
Because I would say up in the 70s or 80s when it comes to foreign policy.
Absolutely. I mean, if you point out a weakness of this president, it is foreign policy.
He's an international joke.
He is. And he doesn't know it. He doesn't understand it. And he's, I swear to you, part of it is he is so bloody arrogant.
Yeah.
I'm not going to kowtow to these people around the world. Who the hell do they think they are questioning me?
Yeah.
President of the United States. What percentage of people disapprove of the Supreme Court's recent actions? Nothing specific, just
In
the
general,
Supreme Court in general.
62.
50.
50.
What percentage have an unfavorable opinion of Congress? This is a Gallup poll.
Oh, I'm going to go back to my 70s in there.
86%.
86. I was conservative on that.
What percentage, going back to the Pew Research Center, what percentage think ordinary Americans could do a better job of dealing with the nation's woes than our current elected officials. In other words, if we just rounded up some ordinary Americans and plugged them in, what percentage of the people think we'd be better off?
58.
55.
55.
Yeah. Now, I think this is a little tongue-in-cheek, but this is public policy polling. 50% of Pennsylvanians would rather be represented by the groundhog, Punxsutawney Phil, than by the current members of Congress.
Well, I tell you, Bill, I had 2 Siamese cats that got, each one of them got a vote for a member of Congress. Remember when Barney Frank used to run unopposed? Yep. I wrote one of Pugsley, the Siamese cat, on the right end. So I told him I got home, I said, you just got to vote for Congress. He wasn't too impressed.
Boy, I'll tell you, that Siamese cat could have done a good job. Yeah. Better than these guys. Religious intolerance is rising. 57% don't like the idea of a Muslim becoming president. 56% believe Islam is not compatible with traditional American values. Well, I mean, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, they want to dress their women in black from head to toe with only an eye slit.
Yeah.
They can't leave the house unless they have a male member with them.
That's right.
They
can't vote, can't drive a car.
They can't vote.
That does not coincide with our morals.
No, it doesn't at all. And we have freedom of speech. They're not allowed to speak. Yep. You cannot speak to another man.
That's right. You can't.
Yeah. And in Saudi Arabia, they had this sham election where they elected a handful of women.
Yep.
The women were not allowed to make speeches to men.
That's right.
So Islam is in conflict with our beliefs.
You remember back, it was a tragic accident. The Egyptian airline that dove into the ocean off the coast. One of the theories of what happened was the warning system to pull out, pull up was female, because they put the female's voice because they're more recognizable. And these 2 Muslims sitting up there said, we're going to take any orders from a woman. Now, that's crazy, but
boy, that is crazy. Whew. You know, and I've said this before, I'll say it again. Friends, if you're going to fly someplace, fly on an American airline.
That's right.
Do not, British airline, Lufthansa, the German airline. Well, I'm running out of others, let me tell you. I wouldn't fly on any other airlines.
Yep.
With some of the stuff that's going on, no, I just wouldn't do it.
I one time flew on it wasn't even Air Vietnam, it was one of their feeder lines. I had to go from the southern part, the Delta, up to Way. And honest to God, I got in, it was 30 passengers and 40 animals. People come with chickens in a basket, a goat on a tether. I mean, there's crap all over inside.
They do that in the Middle East, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Oh, good Lord. Our growing reliance on technology troubles many Americans. 73% believe our smartphones and other gadgets are making us lazy. They are.
They're making us dependent, too.
Yeah.
Very dependent.
59% say they have a negative effect on literacy. Well, they use that pidgin English there, cheap as creepers. And this one, absolutely true. 69% think those devices are ruining interpersonal communication.
Of course they are.
You don't get to see body language.
You're detached.
You don't get to see someone's eyes.
You don't know
the inflection in their voice.
You don't know what anything's going on the other end.
No. You know, I loved sales. Great way to make a living.
Yep.
But these kids today, the technicians, couldn't make a sales call. Well, they could, but it's not going to be very effective if they can't talk to people.
That's right.
You can't sit there and go, my device is the best because I got 899 gigapixels of.
Yep.
Can't do that.
You can't judge the other reaction.
Yeah, unless you've got another knucklehead on the other end.
Yep.
Wow. This is amazing. 36% say they constantly check their smartphone.
Yep.
And 35% admit their phone is the first thing on their mind when they wake up in the morning.
Well, some of them, I read they put the phone on the nightstand, opened, ready to go, because they're afraid they'll miss something during the night or something. Oh,
Wow.
I don't know, Bill. This just passed us by, and I'm not sad it did.
You're not kidding, I'll tell you. What do we do for fun? 50% of Americans follow the NFL
Yeah, I believe that.
and kick back and watch football constantly. 26% believe God plays a role in deciding which team will win a game.
You know, like I always listen to laugh. They all, like he has a favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'll tip the scales for these guys. Yeah. 53% say the Almighty rewards athletes who have faith with good health and success. Despite our love of sports on TV, 28% of Americans say they didn't engage in any exercise or physical activity over the past year. The highest percentage since 2007.
Yeah, that's right.
These machines and computers and stupid games are turning people into vegetables.
Of course they are.
What are we afraid of? What percentage of voters fear there'll be a large-scale terrorist attack in the U.S. in the near future? This is a Washington Post ABC News poll.
It's 82.
83.
83.
You are honing in on it, buddy. What percentage think it's likely that terrorists are living in their hometown? This is Fox News.
85.
60.
60.
What percentage are worried that they or an acquaintance could be the victim of gun violence?
47.
63.
63. I was going to say dropped on that one.
This one I don't believe.
Okay.
40% personally know someone who was fatally shot or committed suicide with a firearm. Now,
Well, that's how do they know them? Do they read about it in the paper? Or, you know,
well, for
Yeah,
instance,
personal-
now I've lived in this town all my life. I know a couple of guys that committed suicide with a gun.
yeah, I knew a couple of
Yeah.
friends
So,
when I was
but-
young that killed themselves.
Yeah.
I guess that's
Were they
right.
friends of mine?
No.
So I didn't feel that I
one
knew
was,
him.
One was a kid that a year ahead of me in high school. You know.
Yeah. And I don't know anyone who's been fatally shot.
No, I didn't. Well, where I grew up, no, unless it was a deer hunting accident.
Yeah, right. Yeah. What percentage do you think of the people fear that the federal government could use a military exercise to covertly seize control of some states? You got to be a conspiracy theorist here, I'll tell you.
There's certain, Texas has got some, the Southwest has got some of them, these conspiracy, they're always
Idaho's
looking for.
full of them.
Idaho's
full
another
of
one,
them,
yeah.
What percentage of the American people are, do you think?
20.
45%.
45, that high?
They're unbelievable. And that's a Rasmussen poll. They're usually pretty good. Now, strap your seatbelt on for this one, buddy.
Hanging on.
What percentage think machines with artificial intelligence could wipe out the human race? This is a Monmouth University poll.
God, that's something like out of science fiction. Wipe out the human race?
Yeah.
11. I think it'd be
44%.
high. 44. I thought
Yeah.
11 was going to be high.
What percentage of people cannot relax?
I don't think they understood the implications of that
No,
question
I
either.
hell, half the people can't read now anyway. What percentage of people cannot relax at the beach because they are afraid a shark will eat them when they take a dip in the ocean? 38%.
8%. I can't help but laugh.
38% are afraid a shark is going to attack them if they go in the water. I wonder if that applies to Man's Pond.
I don't know.
Right
That's what I
here
mean,
now.
yeah. Or Lake Superior. Because you can't swim in that damn thing anyway. It's so cold.
I'll tell you.
Although one time, I wasn't afraid I was going to get eaten by a shark, but we were down to Horseneck Beach. And I was about chest high, and something slid along my leg. It was long and rough. I don't know what it was, but I'm glad it's gone.
Oh, shoot. I'll tell you, the worst thing down at Horseneck is not things, but jellyfish.
Oh, my God, when they're in there.
When when the tide has brought, or the wind has brought them in, man, those babies are bad.
We went to Long Beach Island with some friends one time down in New Jersey, and they were coming in, masses of them. You couldn't go near the water.
We went down the Sagamore. A friend of ours had a cottage down there, and we went down for a couple of days. And we were going to do some striper fishing at night off the beach.
Yep.
And the beach was littered with squid. So my grandfather said the stripers are driving these squids right up on dry land. You know, they're coming in and pinching in and driving them up. So he said, we'll get up at 2 o'clock in the morning. And so anyway, we went out and picked up a squid, put it on the hook. Oh, it wasn't a couple of minutes. Whammo!
Yep.
Grandpa says to me, there's your striped bass. I pulled it, and it was a dogfish.
Oh, yeah.
So we caught about 8 or 10 dogfish and finally said, well, that's enough of this.
English fish and chips.
English fish and chips. That's
They
right.
found a market for them. They sent them to England, and they make fish chips out of them.
They do. They do indeed.
So they are edible.
What do you got? You got anything good?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know what? Let me just finish up with one more thing. The National Terrorism Advisory System,
Yep. Okay.
they come up with this big thing. We're updating it, blah, blah, blah. And the chairman of the Secretary of Homeland Security will be announcing changes and all of that. Here's your website. Down at the bottom, bulletin. This is the same as it was in 2011.
Okay.
Here is the big change. National Terrorism Advisory System Bulletin, December 16th, 2015. We are in a new phase in the global threat environment, which has implications on the homeland, particularly with the rise in use by terrorist groups of the internet to inspire and recruit. We are concerned about the self-radicalized actor who could strike with little or no notice. Recent attacks and attempted attacks internationally and in the homeland warrant increased security as well as increased public vigilance and awareness. This was ballyhooed
Yeah.
as the big update for the NTA, National Terrorism Advisory System. I'll bet you, there's 50 kids in Norfolk under the age of 8 that could write something better than this.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
And to ballyhoo this as some big deal, an update on the alert system. Let me tell you, the guy that peddles the different flavors of cat treats isn't the only bogus artist working.
no. Well, I got something here. I don't know about you. I like to believe in karma.
Okay.
Do good, you get good. Do bad, you get bad. But
That sounds
it doesn't
reasonable.
always work that way because sometimes they say bad things happen to good people and good things happen to bad people. But there was a show on a comedy series that used to be called My Name is Earl.
Never heard of it.
And it was well written, very funny. The premise was that he was a really no good. He was a petty thief. He was everything, just a bad guy. One day he wins the lottery. He walks out of the lottery office, walks in the street, and gets hit by a truck. And of course, his money is gone. You're flying all over. He's in the hospital with everything broken. But it dawns on him that karma got him.
So now, it wasn't the Peterbilt tractor that got him.
Karma did it. So makes this list. He's got like hundreds of things on this list. And the rest of the show, week after week, he's going down the list, trying to contact these people to make up for what he did to them. He gets in some real misadventures. This article was a couple weeks ago at Christmas time. It's holiday meal, walkers stolen at senior site. The Vermont State Police are asking for help tracking down the Grinch-like thief or thieves who took 10 walkers on the Christmas dinner for 30 from a senior nursing facility. Residents of the Pittsford, Vermont community woke Friday morning to find all of their food and all their Christmas items and all the things for Christmas Day celebration was gone. Now, I'd like to think that karma will somehow get this guy.
Boy, I'll tell you, a double dose of karma for him.
He's somebody. Karma has got to get him.
Wow. I'm all for that. I'll vote for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? In my life, I've seen guys lie and cheat and end up ahead of the game.
Oh, yeah.
Karma never seems to get them.
Well, maybe we just don't. Maybe at the end something will happen to him.
I wrote 8 skillion articles for the Norfolk Boomerang.
Yeah, I remember them. I used to read them at the library.
At the end,
I'd say, who the hell is this Bill Crane? Week after week.
At the end, when he went on the internet and stopped printing, the amount of people reading my articles just fell off the deep end.
Okay.
I've discovered a few of them. And you know what? We have just enough time for me to read this one. And I'm not going to do this all the time, but this is one I was especially proud of. Plans is the name of it.
You can't beat the condom on the coyotes, though.
I know.
That's still my favorite.
Ed Sanders sat in his chair watching the TV with his wife Mary Alice beside him in her chair, reading the latest bestseller from Nora Roberts. At length, Ed hit the remote button, shutting the TV off, and says, "May, it looks like this Hurricane Sandy is one huge mess and it's heading our way. My man Kyle Parker on the Weather Channel says we're right in the crosshairs and we're going to take a direct hit. I think we need to prepare for the worst," he said. And with that pronouncement, he finished off his bottle of Miller High Life and headed for the kitchen. He got a fresh one and sat back down. He turned to his wife and said, "May, we need to work up a plan. We need to do it now. So deep six, Nora, and let's get at it." She nodded in agreement, put the book down, and said, "You're right, Ed. Let's get the ball rolling." Ed and May are not the flighty types. They're in their late 50s and are solid citizens. Ed is the president of the local cooperative bank and has a small construction business on the side and is active in many local activities. He's a no-nonsense sort of chap. And as one local wag commented one day, I think if he ever smiled, it would break his face. Now, May is quite different. She's very outgoing and brings the fun to most of the activities that are on her dance card. She's a shaker and a mover in the community as well as at home, and is a dynamite bridge player, a fanatical Red Sox fan, and an avid bass fisherman. The kids are grown and out on their own. Tommy is a career officer in the Marine Corps and is stationed in Okinawa. Ed Jr. lives in Fort Myers, Florida. Jill lives in Buffalo, New York. I'm going to skip a little bit, folks, to get to the punchline. May and Ed are at the point where they've settled into a solid, comfortable phase of their life's journey. Ed, though, was troubled by this enormous hurricane and the unsettling effect it could have on their lives. And Ed said, let's go up to the kitchen table and get a list and a battle plan going on, decide who'll do what. So for the next 2 hours, they considered all they had to do before Sandy arrived. And they'd finally looked at the clock and said, May, it's 11 o'clock and it's probably time to go to bed. I think we have pretty well our plan nailed. We have a busy day ahead of us tomorrow. So they got up the next day, did all these chores. And then I said, yes, Ed and May acted in a responsible and prudent manner, crossing every T and dotting every I, in preparation for the potentially dangerous oncoming weather event. But you know, there's another event coming that will have the most profound effect possible on us, and it's right around the corner. My point in this story is found in the New Testament in Mark's Gospel 8:36, where he writes, for what will it profit them to gain the whole world and forfeit their life? Preparing for a storm such as Sandy is a very important matter, and the frantic activity we take to secure and safeguard our material possessions is a wise undertaking. Do we concentrate on our eternal souls with the same diligence and determination? Is securing our possessions from the possibility of a serious storm on the same footing and as important as eternal life in heaven? Sometimes we get all caught up in the moment and perhaps lose sight of the things that are most important in life, and nothing could be more important than our eternal souls. To sum up, on a very basic and easily understandable level, let me remind you of the words of the noted American philosopher Ronald McDonald, who said, keep your eyes on your fries. I was really happy with that column.
That's very nice.
Skipped a lot of it, but
Was
anyway.
that the boomerang?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was one of those ones where he had gone online, and what really hurt was a lot of people subscribed online and then found out they couldn't get online.
Yeah.
Their passwords didn't work.
Yep.
And, it was a real mess. And then Matt went out of business.
Before we leave here, I
Yes.
want to give you people one little warning, and I'll tell you why next week. It says that hissing sound under your dryer, that may be something that you don't want to see.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
And we have to wait till next time?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, boy. Well, friends, we've been given the high sign that it's time to bail out on you. Thanks for showing up and spending an hour with us. We really appreciate it. And keep your eyes on your fries.
Okay. Good advice.
That's right. And stay warm.
Good night. Bye.
Good night now.